Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible, one brave word at a time. And here today to help me with that mission are a couple of the amazing authors that we have in a new book coming out. This book is called The Energy Healer's Oracle: Tools for Total Transformation. Before I introduce the authors to you today, I want to say a big thank you to Angela Aurora Medway Smith. Angela is the lead author on this beautiful book. And, I really thank you, Angela, for your mission about energy healing, for gathering this amazing group of world-renowned master healer teachers together. This book is vibing high, y'all. Like, I cannot wait to get it into your hands. It's very powerful group of people, and we wouldn't be here without you, Angela. So thank you so much. So I have a couple of the authors with me today, and you guys are going to hear more about them and the chapters that they wrote. Nydia Lesa Stone is a somatic healing arts therapist, coach, and master healer dedicated to guiding your transformational journey towards joyful and sensual living through tantric embodiment practices, art, dance, and vision quest in her global retreats or private sessions. And Corinna Zoya Hunter is with us. She is a light language multidimensional healer based in Sydney. She helps to empower others and help them live in their highest timeline. Welcome, ladies. All right, Corinna, you're going to start the party off today. Tell us about your amazing chapter.
Yes, my chapter is I shared a little bit about my story, how as a child we have those dreams, and especially to the child who is told that they're too sensitive or too nice and this and that, and to me it just led to a lot of complications in my life. I could not find find my place where I belonged, but then everything started to unfold, and then it was just when I hit in my 40s when I had like this light bulb moment where I realized what my calling was. I just started channeling spontaneously. I was in the kitchen washing some dishes, and then all of a sudden I just started to download information. It just happened like that, and then it just progressed, and then was channeling light language, and then it just went like one layer and then
I think
another layer, and then I developed my own modality and tool, and then I tested out on some energy healers and had them amazing results. So then I just thought, okay, I finally found my thing, and now I just want to be able to share it with others.
Thank you, Corinna. You had paused there for a minute, so I wanted to make sure that you could finish your thought about that. I'm really happy that you brought up being a sensitive child, and to all of those people out there who, that was you as a child. I want you to understand that this community of healers in our book here, they really get it. They understand that, and it's a place where you can come and have these amazing conversations about that, how that was for you. Corinna, I want to know, just for the people who don't know what light language is, could you explain that a little bit?
Yes. Light language, it's like it's the ancient language of source. It's a language that's spoken by all beings on our planet. It's like the plants, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom. It's like they all communicate with each other through codes, and so this is a primal ancient language, and it's really understood by all of nature, and it's such high vibration, high frequency that it bypasses the mind, and it's like there's this recognition. When you hear like language, there's like this soul recognition, there's this familiarity with it, you feel at home. It's like you're your home, like language from your own home, your ancient language from your soul, star family. It's like this inner recognition, and it just brings so much joy. It activates the DNA. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, amazing tool.
Thank you very much for talking about that. I know it wasn't until much later in my healing career that I learned about light language. When you began to channel it as a young person, maybe obviously you didn't know what it was at first. How old were you maybe, or how did it happen that you knew what it was? Who did you ask?
Well, actually, I did my own research. I was just Googling and that, and then I saw some YouTube videos, some others channeling light language, and then I recognized the light language that I was channeling, and I go, okay, this is it, and yeah, and then it just like it just went from there. But and not just at that time, I did not know how amazing this tool is. But then I went above and beyond what most were doing with light language. I just set the intention, okay, how about let's channel the flower. And so I just like, and the first flower that came up was the dandelion flower. And then decided, okay, why not mushroom? And then, and when I connected with other light language channelers, I thought all of them were doing the same, mushrooms, trees, flowers, light language, but no one was doing it. Everyone was only channeling the Pleiadian High Council, the Syrian High Council, and other galactic beings. And that's great, that's amazing. But I just explored and experimented on everything, and now I can channel even microbes, and literally anything that has a consciousness can be channeled. And it's just amazing tool, and I'm just never amazed at its possibilities. It's like limitless. I mean, you can literally yeah, it's absolutely like an amazing tool, and I've mastered it, pretty much. It's like now I'm able to I can download all the codes that people need. I'm able to access all of them, whether it be from planet Venus, or it's or from like Lemurian codes, or like if you want to need to channel like like whale codes, or it's like pretty much it's like it's unlimited. Its users are so broad and vast, and just and people really feel it. It's like when you channel the flower, people can actually they like, I actually can't, I'm not very good at visualizing, so when I channel, I don't actually see the flower that I'm channeling, but I because I'm clairsentient, so I actually feel it in my body. But every person I channel with, they're able to see exactly what I was channeling. So then it gave the confirmation that keep doing what I'm doing, work with my senses, because yeah, and so I just use all my senses basically to interpret the meaning, convey its message. And yeah, and it's just it's just a joy. It's such a joy to to channel them. And I just combine the flowers with goddess energy, bringing the sun codes in. Like in the chapter that I wrote, for example, I merged together the sunflower codes with the actual the sunflower together with the sun codes. And so in a live session with me, so basically you get the download of the codes. And so the tool that I provided, it gives you through the process where you go and connect within your body, because after when you go within your body and you do some deep clearing, then you're going to be more receptible to receive the codes. And
Yes, thank you, Corinna.
Yeah, so.
If that isn't enough to get you all curious, I don't know what will be, but the chapter is going to be pretty amazing, and I can't wait for you all to read it. Corinna, thank you for being here today, and to, wake us up a little bit to the possibility that, there's something that could bring that higher vibrational energy to us. And really, this is a healing journey that we're all on. There's so many interesting possibilities. Nydia, would you tell us about your chapter?
Yeah, hello. I can tell you about my chapter. Um, it is about one of my favorite tools, which is the somatic Shakti dance flow. That's a healing tool that I created out of a multitude of personal experiences and studies, actually, over so many years. And to explain it maybe more, I can tell a little bit about my journey and what brought me here and to this tool. Um, I I recognize very much what Corinna said. Like I was as a child highly spiritually sensitive, and like so many of us, I guess, made the same experience that we had imaginary friends and we're talking to our ancestors and had all of these encounters with spirit, nature spirits, talking to trees, whatever, and learned very, very fast and quickly to keep all of these encounters to ourselves because everybody told us that we are just crazy or fantasizing or whatever, yeah, telling stories. So I grew up in the crater of an enormous meteorite, and like imagine this whole small town in the south of Germany, uh, built out of meteorite, and they call it the city of 10 million diamonds because it is mixed with about 75,000 tons of micro diamonds and crystals. So you imagine this kind of energetic impact, which of course, as a child, I was not aware of that. I was also not aware of the history of my hometown, which is quite sad because it got very much involved and entangled in the burning of the wise women during the witch trials. And I chose as a child forbidden playgrounds, which turned out to be the burning grounds of these witches. So, of course, I had no cognitive knowledge about that, but I had some very, very strong encounters there. And I fainted in the museum as a 9-year-old, just looking at the torture instruments, although I had not the slightest idea about what it even represented and stuff like that. So I had experiences like that, and that led me to be very, very curious about this knowing. How could I know? How could I know how to draw certain symbols, etc.? It's not like a cognitive knowledge that my brain would have produced. So I was always, all of my life, I was intrigued about that. And so I had a bit of a rough childhood. Um, I started like my career as a global nomad by at around 11, running away with the circus, kind of. and at 15, I kind of marched with the feminists for the freedom of the feminine. And at 17, I started living in India. And that, like, changing from my little German traditional upbringing and all of what I knew about life and the world at that time, it just fell apart. It imploded, kind of. And so I started studying yoga. I started studying tantric philosophy. I started exploring sacred sexuality between like tantric gurus in ashrams and the sexual revolution of the hippie era, which was yeah, an interesting time to combine all of that. And so I got so intrigued about all of what I experienced at such a young age that I kind of dedicated my whole life in studying the diversity of belief systems, of rituals, of healing modalities, shamanism, everything that has to do with what we believe, what our mind creates, and and like the spiritual aspects of the old philosophies, etc. So I studied that in the all the corners of the world. And so I've been moving all of my life in different cultures, living in different cultures, and studying different modalities. And all of that I create, or I integrate in my holistic therapy. I mean, I started my studies like with classic therapy. In India, I worked in slums, I worked with street kids, and I studied to be a sociotherapist. And I saw very fast that this is very maybe useful knowledge, but it covers only a tiny part of who we are and what we deal with and what we work with. And so it's the combination of all I learned that makes my toolbox kind of colorful and interesting. And I created this kind of melange. What is it? A mixture um, of all, which is in the end the same energetic work. And this is how somatic Shakti dance flow was born, because it works with Dakini and Shakti energy. It works like with the spiritual factor of that. It works with somatic therapy. And now also very influenced with all we know about quantum physics and neuroscience, which backs up a lot of the woo-woo stuff that we had to deal with in the beginning of when we all studied healing modalities.
Where are you today, Nydia, in the world?
At the moment, I am on a tiny, tiny island south of Bali, where my son lives since many years. So normally, the last couple of years was kind of home based in Dominican Republic in the Caribbean, and so I'm very happy to see my son at the moment.
I
So
would
I'm here since
imagine.
December. Yeah. And so also to change the environment, because Dominican Republic, I mean, I love the Caribbean. It's all dance and lightness and joy and communication. And so coming to Asia and to India, I circle around India a bit, and other parts of Indonesia and Thailand. So I love this part, of course, and it fills me also with this kind of spiritual living that is like an everyday uh, normality. Does not exist in Dominican Republic. So I enjoy this, and of course I enjoy being with my son and being nourished by all of what I live here. So I'm going to stay here for a little while, and then I'll see.
Well, a big thank you to both of you, not just for saying yes to this project, but for really stepping up to my challenge, which was to give us a real vulnerable story about your life, but also you're sharing master tools. So readers are going to have practical experiences with your beautiful medicine and magic and energy healing. And I can't wait for this book to be out and for people to really realize what is in this book, what this book is. So a big thank you to both of you for that. Nydia, what's the most important thing you want people to understand about energy healing in general?
Well, it's a vast subject.
It's a big question, I know.
Yeah. But I think we all experience and we all know more and more about it and can't deny it so much anymore. The existence of the impact of energetic vibration and frequencies on our system. And I think we are moving into more awareness and consciousness and knowledge about this also, and more acceptance. And the most important is, I think, to stay open for people. I mean, now we are in this kind of circle of healers, and we don't need to explain energy. We don't need to explain why it's so important. We don't need to explain how we function and how. So like your mission about these books, you don't just write for people who are already in this kind of environment, but also for people who are searching, who are wondering what kind of possibilities there are to be healing physically. Also to ask what are the what might be the roots, and go away from this idea of treating symptoms, physical symptoms. I think we are in our societies more and more aware of the fact that we have to change our medical system. We cannot continue just pretending that we treat symptoms of something where we don't even are not even interested in where it comes from and where the root of it is. So I think this is all interconnected, the whole psychological, emotional, spiritual, and physical, medical part. So for me, energy healing is an everyday practice. It is not something that we should be doing when we feel bad. It is something that we should try to integrate in our everyday life and make it kind of the basis on for how we treat our imbalances, our challenges, and yeah, and just have tools for these situations when we are in overwhelm, because so many people, I mean, I cannot, I watch it actually from outside, because all of my life I've been kind of rewilded. So I'm out of society in a way. I never live in cities, and I don't live like in this 7-5 context at all. That doesn't mean that I don't have my challenges in my life, but different ones. And I think the more we see that now we are in this kind of overwhelm in society, in the families, in the multitasking, in and feeling also this kind of emptiness in a way, this kind of lack of purpose. Where is this going? I think the whole COVID craziness brought that really, really up to the surface, you know, that people were just kind of trying to follow their life plan that's been laid out for them, mostly from the expectations of family and society, and with no real purpose, with no passion for what they're doing. But okay, this is just what you do, and you do it so you have a kind of security. But then all of a sudden, overnight, this kind of security was pulled away from under their feet, and now we have a lot of people with depression, people with instability, emotional instability, because they realize there is no security. And you give your life and your life's energy and lifetime for something that often you don't even believe in. And I think there comes energy healing in its place. You know, just what I just said. Integrate that in your everyday practice. That'll give you more stability, more groundedness, more lightheartedness, and you can access these tools because there are so many wonderful tools. You can access one that resonates the most with you in this very moment for a certain situation, and that is the magic of it. And you don't need to run to the doctor and take all kinds of tranquilizers and all kinds of whatsoever. If you can start searching and using these tools and using like the healers and the therapists who do work like with somatic therapy, love somatic therapy because it's this embodied presence, sometimes not very often not accessed with others, and that is magical for me to experience and to see how it works on others.
Yes, no doubt. And one of the biggest missions of my book was to put all your voices and all the tools together, because we all know that one thing doesn't work for everybody. So the book is such a brilliant collection of these things. Corinna, I'd like to move to you for this same question. What's the thing that you want people to know about energy healing? What feels important to you about that?
Again, what Nidhi said, we each should go to what resonates with us. There's so many beautiful, wonderful, amazing tools out there. And some of us are some of them are gonna speak to our soul more than others. And so basically, you know, trust your intuition, you know, what resonates with you, you know, and like if you could relate possibly with the background story of that energy healer, or there's something in there that you know feel drawn to. So you just have to you know, trust your intuition, you know, to be your guide and that. And yeah, and yeah, what I also wanted to say or to share, if that's okay, Laura, is not many people, for example, have heard of you know, the channeling of the flowers, trees, and nature. And perhaps I can give a demo of the sunflower, because I do cover it in the chapter, and this helps with the empowerment, and will take only a minute. Would that be okay?
Of course.
Okay, so this is like the sunflower. So I'm going to be channeling in the, you know, I'm channeling like the spirit deva residing in the sunflower. Ukayo kurushikatu turikiti turikitashi kurusutata irahu kanahi mana ushurukiti kurukutu shurukiti kanurikiti tirikataru katishakati kuru saraikano ukanaira utata shurikiti karikiti shurikiti karuku urikitima hanurikiti kurikitete. As I say, it's very beautiful, wow, very joyful, and it's a very beautiful, light-hearted energy, and they absolutely love it when we connect with them.
So you just let me know what piece you want to talk about with this, because I was able to ask another author, Ben Shore, about that, because he channels light language. Can you translate everything that comes through you, like into English? And, you know, yes or no, kind of curious about that, because what I feel as the most important part when I hear it is.
So what I do is.
Go ahead, Corinna.
So basically, because I'm clairsentient, I feel it in my body. And like, for example, like this sunflower one is just reminding us to, you know, just to, you know, to be joyful, to be, you know, to be more happy, to be more present, and just to, you know, to appreciate all the beauty, abundance that is around us. And so basically I just feel with my senses, and then I convey the message that way, you know. And that's why I use my hands. I use all my senses to interpret the message.
Yeah, you can feel the joy.
It's very difficult to translate word for word, so I just get the general feeling, vibe of it, and how it makes me feel and the audience feel. And often when I channel in a message for a client, they actually get more messages themselves. They actually recognize what the message is, because sometimes it's meant for the viewer, for the receiver, rather than the deliverer of the code. So it's very interesting, but it's a very good question. But I am working on that, on mastering the translation. But at the moment I'm using my senses and the general feeling, the vibe that it gives, and go with the flow. And often pretty much it's, I guess, spot on the message for that way. Yeah.
So much to learn, you guys, about what's possible here with energy healing. I have one last question for both of you. We're going to have to see if we can do the speed dating version of this question, okay? I really want a simple kind of foundational answer, looking for that. Corinna, connecting people with their inner wisdom is really what we do as authentic healers. We know that we're not fixing people, but we're guiding them to that place inside where they can connect with their own healer and their own inner wisdom. So, what's one way, kind of a simple way, that you can share with somebody who might be a beginner on that journey? How would you ask them to try to connect today?
I'll just ask them to go to their heart. Just go straight into their heart. Just go into the center of your heart and just really just feel, trust your inner knowing, your intuition. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the just the heartbeat. Just the like the drumming sound, and just match and feel the rhythm of the heart, and just breathing with the rhythm of the heart. Just really connect to the heart. And just any question or anything that you're not sure of, just ask. Just ask in your heart to guide you. What is the truth? And you just feel that peace, that joy. You'll get the answer. See, if you just really just go into the heart, you really feel at home, and you know that the first feeling that you get, the first answer that you get, is often the right one. So this is just trusting first your inner guidance, your intuition.
Beautiful, Corinna.
Just first always connect with the heart, and then the answer will come.
Thank you. Nydia, how about you? What's the one way you want to share with everyone to make that connection today?
I think there are some basic tools that allow you to get into first contact with this inner knowing and with this space inside of you that can receive energy healing. And I think one, for me, I agree with Corinna. Of course, it's the heart space. It is the heart space because this used to be, before, like in a couple of thousand years ago, before it all moved up, like this kind of soul presence and the presence of our being in our womb. So I think one of the tools we have that connect us to life itself is our breath. Our breath is like being born and releasing life. With each inhale, we are being reborn. This is our moment. Like when people always say, yeah, let's live in the moment. Well, what is that moment? That moment is breath. Each inhale brings all the possibilities of life in this very moment, because we don't know if there's going to be another breath, another inhale, another moment. So for me, living in the moment means that each new breath, each time I fill my body with oxygen, this is when I can grab life. This is when I live. This is when I can connect with myself, with my environment, with life, with joy. And each exhale, I can release whatever needs to die, whatever I don't want to carry on. May it be a thought, a feeling, a belief, a pattern. And so I think breath work, there are some very simple ways that everybody can find about breath work to connect to calm our nervous system, to activate vagus nerve, pineal gland, whatever. There's a lot of information out there now, and this basic information I think is very helpful. Also for grounding, which I consider one of the most important things also if you want to go into energetic frequency and get in touch with it. Ground yourself, like go with your feet into Mother Earth, like bring yourself into this connection, feel the force that's coming from Mother Earth, this life force, this nurturing. And there as well, I mean, so many people do yoga also, and I hope and pray that grounding is in the meantime one of the practices that every yoga teacher will teach. I think this is like the first connection to energy, to feel earth energy because it's strong, to feel your heart energy, to connect with your breath. And automatically when you do that, you will connect all the energetic centers, all the chakras, all the energetic centers in your body. And just feel into it. Be still. Just be still. Listen to your breath, listen to your heart, and listen to your body. And then what I invite the people to do is start moving. Start moving. Start moving with maybe an intention, but not like moving like you do in a dance class. Just listen, keep listening to your body and start going into the swaying or whatever comes. Your body knows how to move. Your body knows how to come into a higher frequency. Our body knows how to express and let go of trauma, of negative energy that is stuck everywhere. Our body knows it all. And if we don't allow our mind to constantly blah blah itself into this transaction, but really stay with our breath, stay anchored, and stay with our awareness and attention and intention in this process of just listening, not judging, not overthinking, just listening. I think this is a good way to come into first connection with energy.
Yeah, those are beautiful, profound, foundational ways, both of you. I think that a simple way is the best. When somebody's starting, they have to be able to feel it, and then they can move from there. What I would like to add is grab your journal and your pen and connect with the words that might move through, the messages that might move through. And these are awareness tools. All of the things that these authors are talking about today are nuggets of awareness. And the more awareness you have, the more choices you have. Energy Healers Oracle is full of these beautiful healing stories and these beautiful techniques and tools and practices and awareness. And I know you all are going to love this book so much. Corinna Hunter, Nydia Stone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you do in the world and for being here to share it with everyone today.
Thank you.
So to our listeners, I want to remind you that we're going to have the entire author cast on June 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern of the Energy Healers Oracle. We're going to be having our book launch party. So I have some information down below in the show notes for you. And if something that Corinna or Nydia was talking about today is making you curious, please go down into the show notes and explore their websites. This is much more than a book. This is a community of master teachers who really want to help you take that next step on your journey. So go click on their websites and explore all of the amazing things that they're up to. And if you happen to be listening to this interview after the date of June 9th, well, that means you can hop to Amazon and get your copy of this beautiful book. And lastly, today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.